I'm back to a prone position for various reasons. But this episode of The Bachelor was really kind of depressing, so I just need to just lay it off. Lay it down, lay it off. Um, it kind of like followed a weird therapy session. Sometimes I go to therapy and I'm like, this was an amazing therapy session. I feel like I really learned a lot about myself. And sometimes I go and it's kind of like, yeah, that was okay. And then sometimes I go and I'm like, I don't even really know what that was. And I had a weird moment at the end where I said something and then I reminded myself because I said it that that's actually how I feel. And then I got really weepy and teary. And Chapati House helped some, but coming home on a Valentine's Day, perpetually alone, forever alone, and then watching The Bachelor seemed like a good idea at the time, and I'm still not entirely sure my funk is even related to that because I don't think Valentine's Day is a real thing anyway. But I don't know. It's just a weird experience that I'm having right now in terms of my feeling. So prone's a good place for me to be. And that was a weird episode of The Bachelor. One, admittingly, which I only half paid attention to because it takes so long to watch The Bachelor. It doesn't need to be two episodes. It doesn't need to be 2 hours of my goddamn life. I don't even remember how it began. It was so long ago. And I don't even know if it matters if I recap this. Because the thing of the matter is that the expression? I feel like I say that a lot, the thing of the matter. And I don't even know if that's a real expression. This season of The Bachelor has been a joke. A joke of epic proportions. A joke in which I'm looking at it like Nick is either the worst bachelor of all time. Admittingly, I've only ever seen Ben and Chris, and I mean, I don't think that Nick voted for Trump. Like, I believe Ben definitely voted for Trump, and Chris probably voted for Trump. So at least there's that, right? But he's either like a total dipshit, like the dipshittiest of all the bachelors, or the producer manipulation on this season is so incredibly um like this. It's like they're not even going out of their way to hide it. Here's the thing: I don't believe that next week Nick is going to get rid of Corinne. I think Corinne is going to get a homestay, hometown. That's what they call it. Because at this point how can we not meet Raquel? We have to meet Raquel. Like, obviously, she's Corinne's best friend and nanny / housekeeper. Of course, we're gonna meet Raquel. So I can't really. That's why she's still there. Is because the producers are like, well, we have to meet Raquel. We have to see Corinne at home with Raquel. That's just too crazy of TV to pass up. And I get that. But then there's also the part of me that's like, well, actually, Corinne tried to sleep with him. Right? And part of me thinks like, well, he knows that that's readily available. And I don't want to be that cynical because Nick can get sex wherever he wants to get it. I think that that's been proven, and I think that's the same, that a lot can be said of any reasonably attractive, fit person who is straight. But I just don't know. I don't, I, I'm I'm not surprised he got rid of Danielle. Danielle was cardboard. I feel really bad saying that because her fiance died. But she was pretty much cardboard. Nice girl, but there was nothing there of any substance. The fact that she made it as far as she did was really surprising. He also got rid of someone else, didn't he, at the beginning of the episode? I don't even remember because it doesn't matter. Because the thing of it is, sounds to say thing of the matter, is that there are only two viable options. And the thing is, because of who they announced as the new Bachelorette, we already know that one of those viable options is not even an option. Because he doesn't pick her, even though he should. Like, am I allowed to say this? I'll warn you. I'll warn you before I send this to you, that there's a spoiler in it. Is that Rachel is, I think, the greatest Bachelor contestant I've ever seen. And I was like really in love with Vanessa. I'm gonna later propose a a relationship to Christina. But, and I don't, like, this is probably going to seem really hypocritical and, like, exactly what Nick warned against with Christina, but, like, I think that anybody would be lucky to be in a relationship with Rachel. Admittingly, I have only ever seen her on TV. I've only ever seen her in the context of The Bachelor. I have only ever seen her in these really bizarre situations. So my feelings for her are not unlike the feelings that they all get for Nick in these unrealistic situations. But I think she's just incredible. Like, I think that probably what you see is pretty much what you get in real life as well. And I think she's just splendid. I think she's great. I think she's gorgeous. She wasn't wearing makeup in one of the scenes, in one of the early scenes, I think, around the time Vanessa's one-on-one date, and she was like radiant, which for me proves that makeup is bullshit. Because Jesus, she was just gorgeous. She's playful. She's funny. She's so clearly smart. She just radiates all good things, and for me, that's just I don't experience, like, I don't see that ever. Even the people that I like, they don't radiate that kind of effervescence. I tell you what, the last person who I developed feelings for and trying to undevelop those feelings for carried around kind of an aura of sadness. Whether that's probably me projecting, right? Like, I'm not judging that or even saying that that's what this person was feeling, but that's kind of what I read from them. And I feel like a lot of people I just interact with daily just kind of feel that way. So Rachel's a breath of fresh air, even though I don't know her and she's just on TV. I think she's great, and I'm really glad that I'm not glad that she's the Bachelorette, because she deserves better than to be on this franchise, but at least it's somebody who I can very happily root for. I don't know. There's a group date. Here's the thing. He flirts with Christina the whole time. It doesn't make any sense for him to cut Christina if he's gonna cut Christina or Corinne, unless he is saving, like, unless he's kind of like, well, Christina, I'm gonna cut privately, so it's like a little less embarrassing for her, and Corinne, he's gonna say, I'll cut her embarrassingly because she's crazy. Christina is so sweet and she's so great, and I just want her to know, like, okay, because I recognize that, like, it's probably not gonna work out with me and Rachel. It didn't work out with me and Rachel, and it will never work out with me and Rachel, I'm sure. But Christina, like, if you're watching a queer watches The Bachelor, which a grand total of 2 people watch, but you can be number 3. I'd be happy to date you. I think you're really sweet. I think you're very sincere. I think you're very intelligent. I think you're very strong. I think you're very compassionate. I think you're very empathetic. I think you're pretty great. And you're beautiful. And my guess is that in the right circumstance, you can probably be pretty fun and funny as well. So, if you're ever in town, I would be happy to take you out. I have a pretty good date planned that I wanted to do back in December, and it was canceled on me, and I have not been able to do it. So I have all these plans that I will be happy to do with you. But he cuts her because he's a piece of shit, who's just going along with what the producers want, or just making these terrible decisions on his own. Who cares? Like, Nick is the worst. Okay, can we even talk about the fact that he still wears a Livestrong bracelet? He still wears a Livestrong bracelet. Those were popular back in... Jennifer Capriati was still playing tennis. She retired in 2004. That can't be right. She played Justina and Ardennes in the semifinals in 2003. And then that was 7-6 in the third loss. And then she lost... Yeah, it was 2004. She retired back in 2004. college must have just been starting at that time, which is why I remember that game in the dorm. She retired back in 2004. That's my point, okay? I know a lot about Jennifer Capriati and her US Opens experiences because I was obsessed with her. That's a really long time ago. Since then, Lance Armstrong has, like, fallen from grace. I don't even know what he's doing anymore. He's probably, you're wearing a Livestrong bracelet, Nick. Like, what on earth? Oh, can we just, like, do you notice that Corinne can't walk in those really high heels that she was trying to seduce Nick in? I would be really embarrassed for her, but she's just not that good of a person for me to be embarrassed that she got rejected by Nick. Which doesn't even say she was even rejected. It's first. Here's the thing too. If you brag about how good you are at sex, you are not good at sex. It's just that simple. If you are somebody who says, my vagine is platinum, your vagine is not platinum. Literally or metaphorically. I mean, I guess it could be literally platinum, but that would probably be really hurt. The process of that. I don't even... So no. She's like... She is somebody who puts a lot of effort into it, probably. Like a good little chipmunk. But it's kind of like, there's all this stuff going on. But look at the face of the person that she's with. Nothing. They're just kind of like, there's all these movements, all these back arches, all of these legs in the air that don't need to be in the air. And the person's just kind of like, this is ornamental at best. That's how she is in bed. Don't brag about it. Because it just proves that what you're saying is probably not true. I don't have anything else to say about this episode. Again, I'm in a weird mood, weird headspace. I don't even... The fact that I get out of bed in the morning is still a mystery to me. But next week I have a break, so maybe I'll at least be less tired. More energetic as we do hometowns, right? Because again, I believe we're going to meet Raquel. And so, even though Corinne is crap and I feel so bad for Raquel already without having met her, maybe it'll perk me up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, that's the best I can hope for, right? A bit of a perk. So that's about it. Just remember, don't live strong. And don't wear high heels you can't walk in. And, one last thing though. All the girls, when they were told they were going to go to Bimini, all of them were like, Bimini, Bimini, Bimini. And, like, they knew what the hell that was. Do you know what Bimini was? Have you heard of Bimini? I've never heard of Bimini. And I literally know all the countries of the world. I know exactly where they are. I can list them with or without a map. I guess it's part of the Bahamas. I've never heard of this place before. And they were all so excited to go, and they just kept saying, Bimini! So I'll never forget where Bimini is, or that it's a place. I just thought that was weird. It was like their weird, fake excitement about going to Wisconsin. I am excited to see, though, where they're going next week, or the week after, I don't know. That's really, really cold. Somewhere in the Arctic, right? Arctic Circle? That'll be kind of... I'm just curious to know where. I don't... Who cares at this point who wins? It's going to be Vanessa. Vanessa will probably win. I was really surprised that, I mean, I guess this is why, like, I was really surprised he gave the rose on the group date to Raven. I thought he would give it to Christina. But obviously, I guess he wasn't feeling it. I really don't have anything else to say. I don't know why this is still going on. Bimini, bobbity boo, and I'll see you next time.